Hey everyone, today we are taking a look at the 2018 film Anon. Watch out for spoilers and enjoy the show. The film opens with a man walking down the street with a focus on his eyes. We see that he has a futuristic heads-up display layered over his vision, giving him information about everyone and everything around him. We also see that this is how ads are displayed in this world, with digital billboards flashing across all of the buildings. On his walk, he sees a girl who appears to have no record, and it causes him to do a double take. We next see the man walk into the police department, and we see that his name is Sal Freeland, and he is a detective, first class. He proceeds to sit down with several different people throughout the course of his day, and we see that he is able to use the visual technology to look through their eyes, then use that knowledge to help solve crimes. We see that everyone's every move is recorded and kept in a record that others can see, virtually eliminating privacy. He is next called to a recent homicide in the area, meeting up with his boss, Charles. Upon looking at the victim's record, the two see a strange sight. The killer was somehow able to hack the victim's vision, causing him to see things from the killer's point of view before his death, right up until the point the killer pulled the trigger. Charles then mentions that there was another recent victim as well. They had thought it was a glitch before, but now realize they may have a genuine mystery on their hands. Sal mentions to Charles that he saw a girl earlier that had no record, wondering if there is maybe a connection. The next day, they are talking over details of the case with a tech contractor named Lester. Lester tells them that the victim's data has been manipulated, with the footage from the final minutes of their lives having been altered to hide the killer's identity. We then cut over to the killer's point of view, as they appear to be claiming more victims. They once again mess with their victims by altering their vision, before ultimately ending their lives. Sal was able to get to the scene quickly, and we see him talking things over with the first responding officer, trying to get some details while the two wait for backup. While they talk, they hear a sound elsewhere in the apartment and go to investigate. Unfortunately, the other officer is hit as the assassin opens fire on them both. We then see Sal chase the killer down into the subway, where his own vision starts to get altered, leading to him falling down the stairs. Once he gets up, he walks over to the nearby train, looking for signs of his attacker. At the last second, he realizes the train he is looking at isn't real, as another one then comes and knocks him to the ground. He later explains the situation to his boss back at the station, telling him how his vision had been manipulated. Charles then tells him that they have more information about the girl, and all signs seem to be pointing to her as the killer. It seems that all of the victims so far are people that had hired her recently to erase their past. They decide they need to lure her out, using Sal as the bait. They spend a couple months setting up a fake life for him, hoping she wouldn't look too deep. They set him up with a job as a stockbroker, and he spends some time building a repetitive and boring history of memories. Sal eventually manages to get a message to her, and the two agree to meet. Sal takes the girl back to his fake apartment and tells her his cover story about needing an affair erased to hide it from his girlfriend. She does what he asks for, fortunately, without looking too far into his past. While she is working, we see Lester in the next room, trying to find out who she is now that he has her location. After the girl finishes the job, she pulls out a gun on Sal, appearing to be the same gun we saw in the records of the victims. She tells him to turn around, and then sneaks out the door once he turns his back. We later find out that Lester was able to find a proxy she is using to hide her identity, and this allows them to spy on her through her own eyes. A new technology officer, Cyrus, has been assigned to the case to help them, and he and the others intently monitor her feed for clues. We next see the killer claim another victim, prompting the group to ask Sal to go undercover again for another meeting with the girl. The two meet again, and after the job is done, they end up sleeping together. Later that night, while the girl is cleaning up some loose ends on the job she was doing for Sal, she discovers that he is actually a detective. We then hear a gun go off, and Sal runs out his door, only to find that Lester has been shot, and the girl is nowhere to be found. Back at his real apartment, he sees that the killer is now messing with his vision, causing him to think he is being attacked first by a man and then a dog. As he walks out of his apartment, we see that it appears to be on fire, and he fires a couple shots down the hall, just in case the killer was there. His vision then goes back to normal for a moment, and we see his neighbor come out of his apartment, scared by the gunshots. He next goes to check the elevator, and the killer almost makes him fall down the empty shaft by messing with his vision again. While talking with his boss after the incident, a warrant is issued for Sal's arrest, and Charles is forced to bring him down to the station. It turns out that his record apparently shows him shooting his neighbor when he came out of his apartment, and it seems that the killer is now manipulating his past as well. They are forced to suspend him pending a formal investigation and send him home under house arrest. While at his apartment, he is contacted by the girl again, and she tries to prove her innocence to him by showing her record of the night Lester was shot. We see that she didn't do it, but had walked out the door just after it had happened. Despite her skills in manipulation, we see that he believes her. Sal then notices that the police cars outside his house are being drawn away to another urgent matter. We next see Sal having his vision changed to that of the killers, just like all of the other victims before, and we see that the killer is now in his apartment. Sal turns to shoot as the killer rounds the corner, but the killer manages to hit him first. We then see the killer get shot himself, with the girl holding the gun. The killer pushes her up against the wall, and we see that the killer is actually Cyrus, the hacker they had brought in to help in their investigation. It turns out that he had been hired by another group of hackers to find and kill the girl originally, but had decided to protect her instead, after seeing what she was capable of. He was now killing her associates in an attempt to frame her, so she would be forced to join him. While Cyrus is monologuing, Sal manages to shoot him without looking and chase him out into the hall. Cyrus grabs the girl, trying to use her as a shield, while still messing with Sal's vision. Sal manages to use his training to hit Cyrus again, while not actually looking at him. He then proceeds to shoot him a few more times, just for good measure. The girl then slips away, without another word. We then see Sal and his boss give a final report to the captain, and we find out that Cyrus had forged his entire identity, having never actually worked for the police at all. In the final scene, we see Sal meeting up with the girl one last time, before she erases his memory of her for good. Like and subscribe to see more videos like this one. See you next time.